Here we go. All right, so Ravaya, where are you?
I'm here.
Hi, Ravaya. What is your, first of all, thank you for so much for doing this work with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm really nervous.
Yeah, sure. When you're ready, can you tell us a little bit, not the whole and all the details, just 2 or 3 sentences of what is your money story?
I grew up fairly comfortable, I would say. But my parents were always just very like, gave us what we need, and we definitely had like what we needed, but there was no extra things that I wanted that we didn't need were not bought. And I feel like in my adult life, and especially with just life right now, I'm in scarcity mode and I'm not in abundance. And I am making a living, I am working, but I'm not flourishing within my work or flourishing within my abundance mindset. And I want to attract more money into my life in order to be able to give, in order to be able to do, in order to be. And I have a pattern of having money and then not having a lot, and then it's like a wave, and it really throws me off. And I would like a constant flow of abundance, so I could have that peace of mind in order to do my other work in the world.
Beautiful. I love that. Everybody who hasn't written an intention yet, you can go ahead and write it in the chat. And what we're doing right now is we're making a collective wish, a collective prayer here, that we're all going to do the work together. And Ravaya, there's 4 roles that are going to come through. One that's going to represent you, one that's going to represent the pattern, one that's going to represent money, and one that's going to represent scarcity. Okay, and there might be more roles that will come through. Ravaya, the way to be, ask somebody if they're available for a role is just to feel your heartstrings, say their name, ask them if they're available to take on the role of. If you're being asked and it feels like a yes, unmute yourself and say yes. And then what we're going to have you do is you're going to change your name to the role that you take on. All right, so let's just take a moment reading everybody's intentions. These are beautiful. And the roles again are abundance. Oh, I'm sorry. The roles again are money, the pattern, somebody to represent you, and scarcity.
Okay. Am I reading or am I choosing? Am I reading people's?
You're just gonna choose now, Ravaya.
Okay, are you available to be the role of money? If yes, please unmute yourself. Okay, thank you. Great. Hannah, are you available to take the role of the pattern? If that feels good, then please.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, me and scarcity. Wow, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, let's do scarcity. Okay. Mm. Mm. Okay. Beth, are you available to take on the role of scarcity? If that feels good for you, or if not, let us know.
Yes, I can do that.
And RK and Beth and Hannah, just change your names to your roles.
And
It's the three
me.
blue dots on the right corner of your square. And Molly, if you can spotlight them.
I'm having trouble changing my name.
The three blue dots on the right corner, on the top right corner, there's an option to rename. Or Molly can rename it for you. Okay, and Revi, the last row. And
Can RK and Beth both speak so I can find them?
yeah.
Oh, hello.
What's that?
Oh,
RK
here.
Money. My name switched. I switched it.
Kiara, Raphael, are you able to, would you like to take the role of me, Ravaya? Okay, thank you.
We good on people?
Yeah, we're good on people. We just need the names changed.
Okay. Got it.
Mine's just taking a minute. I'm trying. See.
Okay. Everybody who's not in a role, you're actually the observer now, which means you're the entire arena. So you might already start feeling intense energy in your body. And notice also that Scarcity lost her Wi-Fi connection. And that's part of the field. Okay, so everything that's happening from this point onwards is part of the field, part of the story. So if you get interrupted, if your phone starts ringing, it's part of the story. If I get interrupted, it's part of it. Please turn on your camera now, even if you're observing. It's beginning now. And everybody who's observing, start breathing into your pelvic area and just notice what's going on. The people in the roles. What I want you to do is to stand up, close your eyes. And the person in the role of Revi, are you able to turn on your camera?
Sorry, I had to run to the bathroom, but I am coming back.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths in your body, and you're going to begin noticing sensations happening in your body. Take another deep breath in and out and allow those sensations to evolve into emotions. Take another deep breath in and out and allow those emotions to evolve into thoughts. And just checking, did Scarcity come back or is she still out? Okay. All right. You can open your eyes and begin looking around the room and noticing what's attractive to you and what repulses you. And ask yourself if you're in the right spot. And also check in with your body language. How does your body want to be? And again, just noticing what's happening here. Revive the person, anything coming up for you, the 2 of the 4 of your parts left?
Anything coming up for me where?
That 2 of the 4 roles have dropped out before we even started.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
Mhm,
I feel a lot of tension in my neck.
mhm.
2 of the roles have dropped out. Okay.
Yeah, money and scarcity are gone right now. They might come back. But right now it's
Okay.
just you and the pattern.
Okay, kind of makes sense, no?
Mm-hmm.
Money left because she wanted to move.
Yeah. Okay, let's focus in on the field and Revia the role of the client. How are you feeling? The person in the role of the client. How are you feeling? Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling my throat is scrunched up and I'm feeling like I want to roll into a ball. Very constricted.
How's the pattern feeling?
I was also feeling like so much in my throat just now. It was like very much like chest, throat area, and like a curving of my shoulders in.
Yeah.
And definitely emotions, but I'm not sure that they haven't been translated to thoughts yet, but something is coming up.
Scarcity. Were you money before?
I actually thought I was scarcity. So
Yeah, you were scarcity.
okay.
And money changed her name to scarcity.
Wait, what?
You
Sorry.
are money. You changed your name to scarcity when you
I
got
think that was me. That was me by accident.
Oh, okay. It's still part of the field. It got changed. Okay. Super interesting.
Am I still?
You're still money. You're still
Okay.
money. We're all here now. All right. Scarcity, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling chills, a bit chilly, but also full body chills as well.
And money, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really warm and felt a rush of energy move through my whole body. And I felt peace set in and also a joy come through my face.
Okay. Now's the part where between the 4 of you, you're welcome to just begin speaking to one another if anything's coming up, if anything wants to be said to one another.
Scarcity, I just want to ask you, why not? Why not?
My narrative is constantly in an interplay and a constant loop of all the reasons why not.
What would it feel like to experience joy in your life? What does that feel like or look like?
And that's not how you have to introduce yourself for the rest of your life.
Who's speaking? Go ahead, Scarcity.
I'll answer the money, the question that was posed by money, and joy would feel like a lightness, an airiness. It would create a sense of easefulness in my day-to-day.
I feel like money, I am so intrigued by your happiness and your joy, and I am like relating to it, but it feels like I can't like get in. I see it and I know what it feels like, but I can't fully access your happiness. So how are you in that joy?
What if we all just took a deep breath together and let everything just roll off our shoulders? Just breathe in.
Oh.
What if you let go of the outside completely and just let yourself feel good inside? Just breathe, let it roll off.
Yeah, I'm feeling really resistant and a little frustrated.
What is the resistance and frustration saying?
I'm sorry?
What is the resistance or frustration saying?
Don't tell me what to do. And if only it was so easy.
I'm noticing
And
how
Like from my throat. Go ahead.
no, I don't want to
No, go ahead.
interrupt. This is your go.
And it's mainly in my throat and the back of my heart. I just wanted to say
I was just gonna say that I felt it very easeful to open when money cued the relaxing, and then hearing you talk, I was reminded again. I really am feeling like I'm embodying this pattern, because I was like, oh, I want to be open and relaxing, and then I heard your thoughts, and I was like, wait, maybe I am resistant, and then I felt this closing happening. So it's kind of like this sensation of almost like a cat cow in my chest of opening and closing, because I'm like wanting to relate to that joy. But then hearing your resistance, I want to associate with that as well.
The
This
pattern.
might-
I'm wondering if you can show us who you are with your body.
Okay, like standing up.
Stand however it wants to come through. Yeah.
I think just like this.
I feel this cosmic giggle coming, and just this smirk like coming up through my face, and it's just like, it feels like the universe coming up through my body, just being like, if only you knew how easy and simple it is to just feel this joy that's here. It's here.
The client, how is it to see your pattern? To see that openness and constriction, openness, constriction.
at the
That's you.
role of the client.
Yeah, the
or
role of the
client.
client. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was feeling a lot of disgust. Like I feel like I want to scrunch up my face. I'm just like disgust is coming up.
Is there anyone that feels missing to you?
Maybe an anger piece.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a lot of anger, disgust, and unworthiness that I feel.
Yeah. Does it feel like it's from you or from somebody else? Does it feel like it's yours or?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like something right here.
Yeah. I want you to look through the crowd and pick somebody who's representing that.
Alyssa Eisenstein, are you available?
Sure, yes.
And the role of the client, do you have a name for this role?
I almost want to name it society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone else in the crowd feel like they're in a role that wants to be named? Okay. Let's continue here.
Scarcity is feeling a bit of frustration, partly because of the internet connection, but I also have to wonder if that frustration is coming up for the role that I'm playing in the pattern, consistently holding back or creating a blockage, a break in the pattern of being able to move forward, but rather holding back.
Yeah.
I couldn't really hear anything Scarcity was saying. I don't know if it's just me or not, but it's very muffled.
Mhm.
Not even that.
How is society feeling?
I'm feeling that there are a lot of voices, a lot of opinions, and a lot of noise. And it's a bit hard to discern the main message. There's a lot of opinions coming from various directions. I feel present. My mind feels clear.
I feel avoidant.
Everything that is said, this Hawkeye vision comes through me, and the fire ignites more, and there's just like seeing through all challenge with fire and clarity.
What's going on for the pattern?
I was feeling a lot of gratitude as all of this communication was happening. Just feeling really grateful to allow all of the pieces to connect with each other. And also I found it so intriguing. I heard what Scarcity had said, and that Ravaya, or the person portraying Ravaya, did not hear that. And I was like, rather than what Scarcity had said specifically, just brought up for me the dissonance of not being able to hear the different parts, and then feeling a little sad.
Scarcity, I want you to look at money.
Hello. You make me feel a little less in charge when I see your smile. You make me feel a little less like I need to be in the way, that I want to be invited into the opportunity that I feel when I see your smile. Feel your energy.
Come on in. I feel really inspired by money, and money's inclusive invitation for success.
And I felt really good by the patterns, recognizing that too, and it feels really inspiring. But I wonder how it's possible for everyone, for all of us to have it. So there is some doubt. I'm listening to money and I'm inspired by money, but I also feel doubt and uncertainty, as if we can really, if everyone can trust and get what money says.
Ricky,
Yes.
I feel really angry at like almost every role here.
Do you feel what role you're in?
Like I feel like I might just be like anger, or I'm not exactly sure.
The word that's coming through is the abused.
The abused,
Yeah, or like the trauma.
maybe.
Yeah, come in. And the other two people who wrote in the chat, I see you. Not going to bring you in just yet.
Should I name myself trauma or abuse?
Whatever word feels most aligned for you.
Yeah, I was feeling so angry from the start, like first at scarcity, and then at money, and now like I'm also feeling it towards society. Like I just feel like everyone here is like so la la la, like money's so easy, money's so great. Like no, like I want to like yell at money, like you screwed everything up, like you hurt me, like you're not easy, you're not like this, you're acting so innocent. And like and even like I'm mad at scarcity for being scarce, and then also like being open to money. I'm just like, what's happening here?
Mm-hmm.
And like no. The only people I'm not annoyed at are Ravaya and the pattern. Like they have not bothered me.
As soon as you came up, I felt lightness. As soon as you started talking, or even like had your name up there, I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I feel all like the tension. So.
I don't feel the tension anymore.
I feel relief as well. I feel relief.
I feel like I like really relate to this emotion that you're having. I was like, oh, that one, but that I'm like, my own mind is like trying to choose to like go with the happy, excited, gratitude kind of feeling that I was feeling before.
But it's not true. Like I don't like know what fairyland we're living in here, you know? Like everyone's just like,
yeah,
like no, like it's not.
Yeah, I feel, but like what you're saying is like I'm feeling like really like triggered by it, like because I see what you're saying, and it's like stirring me up, and I'm like feeling like I'm integrating that in my body like a lot. Like I'm getting worked up too. Now I'm like I should be angry too.
Yeah, that's the truth. Like that's real life. Like it's not all the like fun, like money, woo. Like it's not, like that is the truth. Like you're living in fairyland world if you're like believing these people.
I just felt this eyes, like this surge of anger, and then this sadness underneath, and it was oh man, I don't remember what was said. The emotion moved through, and
I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you, money. Scarcity. What's coming up for you when you look at trauma?
I'm realizing that money is not what I'm seeking as the answer. I feel the frustration with the mindset of scarcity and how much that stumps and dampens the ability to grow, but yet money doesn't feel like the solution.
Scarcity, I want you to look at trauma.
Why trauma?
I want you to be there and look at her.
I appreciate those feelings that you shared, because it really sheds light on how much we want to have money be the answer to so many of the things that come up. So the scarcity mindset is something else that's lacking. It's not money necessarily being the answer.
I'm feeling that
Yeah.
the word or the feeling that I could put words to with how's it all possible and a bit of confusion of so many of the voices as I realized I'm not sure I fully trust money. Money sounded really inspiring and I wanted to trust money. And since remembering that trauma's around and hearing trauma, I remembered there are a lot of voices around that are hearing trauma. So now I'm feeling a bit more cautious.
Yeah.
And also hearing scarcity and remembering scarcity, feeling like maybe money isn't the full leader or the voice that that society wants to follow.
What if you trust
Wait,
yourself?
money, hold on. Trauma, what's happening when you look at scarcity?
Like, I'm almost like, I want to blame scarcity for
Scarcity is scared though. And my feelings are so driven by fear. So what do you want to blame me for?
Everything.
A little, yeah.
Scarcity, is someone missing here for you?
Peace,
Mm-hmm.
inner peace.
Mm-hmm. I want you to look through the crowd and see if anybody feels they're that.
Teresa, are you available?
Yes. Tell me what you think my name is.
Peace,
Peace.
inner peace or peace.
And everybody who's watching, this is another chance just to breathe deeper into your belly, into anywhere that feels constricted. Sending any love and care to any part of your story that's being touched or triggered now.
Scarcity, can I ask what it is that you feel you're wanting from me? How do you think I can help you or support you?
Finding some light around the inner battle or conflicting feelings of the scarcity mindset, not having enough, the lack, needing more, trying to figure it out. And solution being money, seeking money, always wanting to have more money, feeling that money is going to provide a solution to the suffering.
Mm-hmm. The person in the client role, I have a question for you. Does this scarcity dynamic feel like it's yours? Because it feels to people like there's some other, this is the past. Feels like there's something from the past that actually isn't ours to hold, that feels missing to me.
Yeah, or via the person. What happened on your father's line?
Yeah, so what brought up just now is that whenever I wanted something like that was ridiculous for him, let's say like a new teddy, he wouldn't get it for me because it was a waste of money in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have like enough toys, or if I wanted chocolate, I don't know, like it's not healthy, but he would buy me vanilla ice cream because that's health. Like it was very like controlled money. Like he gave me like he gave me, but it was very like, yeah, control. I didn't feel as a kid I got like what I wanted. It was what was,
Yeah.
how is it controlled? Yeah.
Let's bring your father in. I have a feeling it didn't start with him either, but let's bring your father and
Yeah.
you can
Yeah, the word
go ahead.
the word control kept coming up for me.
Yeah, let's bring your dad in. And
one day, if any of you meet my dad, he's the most loving, giving human. Just to put that out there.
And or via the person, you can choose who feels like your father.
Oh, gosh.
Is there any chance it's me? Just asking.
Does it feel like you?
Who just said that?
Does it feel
it's
like
right, I'm currently peace, but
does it feel like you that you're the father?
it feels older than that to me, but yeah.
Yeah. So change your name to either the father's line.
Oh yeah.
Just wanted to add that when peace came in, I felt really good. I was so glad that peace was here.
I see something
With the father, I'm feeling some constriction and tightness.
Yeah.
In the chest.
Trauma, I'm gonna get to you. I just want to bring the father in. So revive the person.
So I am bringing father in.
Yeah.
Okay, I keep on going to. It's between KM and Tali Sor. I can
choose one.
Okay, KM, would you take on the role of being my father?
Sure, of course.
Thank you.
Okay. And KM, just breathe, close your eyes, and Trauma, what did you want to say?
I wanted to say that when peace initially came in, I was also able to like soften a bit and realize that like maybe like I am blaming scarcity, and like I just have like I kind of like had all this anger and heat, and I like needed to put it on something, and I kind of realized that maybe that wasn't the true source of like my anger, and I wanted to like apologize for that.
Trauma, I want you to look at the father's line. This is probably where a lot of pain came in.
Feeling like sad,
and
also like a little anxious.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to get up and run away from this suddenly. Like not actually, but like in my body, I'm like I keep feeling like I need to go somewhere. I need to move.
Yeah.
But I know
follow
like
that impulse.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like walk around the room a little bit, I think.
I also feel like my like throat is closing a little.
What happens?
My right eye is.
Go ahead, Society.
Yeah, my right eye started hurting.
Trauma, what happens when you look at the father?
There's softness in my heart, but my legs like almost became like paralyzed. I feel like I can't really walk. I can't like move them.
Father, what happens when you look at scarcity?
I'm terrified. When I stepped into the role or as father right now, I feel a lot of very mixed emotions. I feel very rigid all of a sudden. I feel like I am very upright, very erect, very in charge outwardly in my body. But immediately in stepping into this role, I noticed that my heart rate kind of picked up and I feel a lot of energy in my chest. And to me, the emotion is worry, like an extraordinarily heavy worry. So there's two feelings, this feeling of control, being in control, but also this just intense worry. And when I look at my daughter, I feel a lot of love and like I soften, but that worry picks up.
Mhm. And I am feeling an intense visceral nervous system response. There's a lot of restriction and constriction happening through my entire body. I'm starting to actually shake a little bit, very deep within. Yeah, it's what's coming up with me when Father came on.
I also feel the same way. Like my whole body is like super tight and constricted, and I feel like I can't move. And I like feel like I want to cry when the Father speaks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if we can bring in a child.
Does that feel good for you to bring in a child?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go ahead and choose somebody.
I think Rachel Gopepel. Are you open for that? Yes.
That's incredible because I saw her and I was like, oh, she should be my inner child. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I was feeling it earlier. I was like, can I be inner child? I raised my hand. I don't know if you saw it or not. I was like, I'll let her pick.
Well, let's stay in the roles here. So go ahead and change your name. Yeah. Trauma, I want you to look at the father's line again. And if it feels good for you, if you want to just hold up your hands to support anyone who's watching, as well as any of the roles, what we want to do now is move the energy from the trauma out of the father's line. An inner child, you're actually going to receive. Inner child never supports. Inner child always just receives. Yeah.
Like a little bit like I'm in like freeze mode.
You're in freeze mode. Yeah.
That's from me. As soon as inner child came in, I felt an intense need to make certain that it would be safe. And that meant control. So yes, I did not have it until inner child came on. Yes, safe, control.
I feel like screaming.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do that. You can put yourself on mute. You can do it in a pillow.
I get a pillow.
I can't move at all. But when you were speaking, like I had like a rush of so much like fear and sadness. But, like I still can't move.
Mhm. What feels possible for you? Can you look around and see the people supporting you?
I am safe here. I'm safe as I am.
So I think I want the father's line to like speak more.
Mhm.
I didn't hear you say it again.
Like I want you to I want you to speak.
What I was going to say was, is anyone available to support me? And the father,
that.
because the image that came to me is this fantasy that feels impossible and that I'm not allowed to say it because it's not allowed to happen. But the fantasy is that behind me, there is just this like ring of people supporting me to move the trauma that comes from even further ago than me, and to move all of that through me and through the father, and not for it to go to the child, like for it to end here.
Mm-hmm. And father's line, you have 40 people in the room. If anyone feels called to support the father's line, you can just put your arms out. And really, if anyone feels called to support, just feel in the room where your support wants to go. And father's line, just soak that in. It's not all on you.
Oh, I'm looking at society. That helps a lot.
Yeah, I want to just tell you that now and in the past throughout history, you're being held by the collective.
Will my people actually be safe if I let go? Will it be okay?
I just have to say I felt so much
No,
peace.
not inner child, not inner child, society. What do you want to say, society?
I feel like I'm not sure I can answer that, but I feel that we're all in this together. And the collective is unified.
What is it that you desire? What is it that you long for in your heart?
Who are you talking to?
You.
I want my children to be safe. I want them to be safe and alive and healthy and strong.
What is that? Does that feel like love in your body? What does that feel like? Instead of coming at it from this space up here, what does it feel like for your children to feel safe?
They have to do the right things.
What if you came from the space of not answering from the mind of like, you just felt in your body what it could feel like to breathe in, breathe out, and feel safe What it would feel like to see your children just feeling safe. How does that feel?
I can't even imagine that.
Because it's
Like
not
your
on her.
words, I don't understand them. I mean, I understand them.
Father's line. It needs to come from beyond you. We have to tap into the higher power. So what I want you to do again is could be in this room here, that somebody in the role is already the higher power or greater power, or I want you to just kind of sense that everybody who's observing is part of that higher power.
Part of it is I can't actually see all those people, so I can only see who's highlighted.
Feel it. Feel it.
Say it again.
Can you feel love and safety? Can you open yourself up to it, imagining seeing smiles on your children's faces and feeling the warmth that's there? What does that feel like?
Sunshine.
In Father's line, I want you to again go back to source energy. You can't see it, but you can feel it. And even though you can only see the people who are highlighted, there's another multitude of power here.
Father, I think it would be helpful for me. Can you like look at me? And like, can we hold each other? I feel like I want my hands on your shoulders.
Sure.
While we do this.
Sure.
And I feel like I want us to hold the inner child as well. Maybe on your lap, Father. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
So
are you good with that, child? Will you do that?
Can I say, I don't know why, but I felt like anger.
Of course.
But I also want to say, and I know you guys were trying to facilitate, but I felt a lot of peace when someone said, is it safe for me to just let go? I felt so much peace.
Yeah. I want to do it like this. Father's line, you're being held by the collective. You're holding on to the father. Father, I want you to actually hold on to the client, the role of the client. And the role of the client, I want you to hold the inner child.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, sure.
Father's line and father, I was getting an image a few generations back, I'm not sure when, of a small village. It's very simple, but there's a lot of green grass and sun shining. And I just want to bring in the support of the community members that were living at that time. That whenever and whoever this place was, that there was support around from the community, and maybe it was small and simple, but just bringing in that support too.
On the land.
My whole back body softened as you said that.
Scarcity feels a little less threatened as well right now.
And I want to know if we can bring this line here of holding. And we can just kind of create a circle around the trauma and bury it. Honor it. And you can see that she's already lying down. She's already on the ground.
Here, we're right here now. We're right here. Just the ancestors were here.
Money is not the answer, and there is no fear of scarcity because we're surrounded by love and support from our earth and our ancestors and all of the people that have been before us and brought us exactly where we're supposed to be.
Trauma, how does it feel to die? To be put to death?
feel like I'm like slowly melting. Like, I have so much pain in my back.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm like slowly releasing it.
Yeah, and you can rest forever now.
Feel tired.
And let yourself sleep, let yourself rest now. Let's all take a big breath together, everybody. Revive the person, just checking in on you. Does this feel complete for you?
Yeah, I have a few questions. Is that
You can ask, and I have the right to say that we'll save it for the analysis at the end.
okay? So do I ask?
Yeah, you can ask if it's for a specific role here.
So Ravaya, who's playing me, like, are you like what are my blocks?
I feel like my throat is still pretty blocked. And the back of my heart. At the front of my heart and my solar plexus, there's like an integration and a smoothing opening out. Trust. You need to trust more.
And can I, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And my father, you are, actually I don't have the words, it doesn't matter. And scarcity, you say money isn't the answer, and I agree, I want peace, so why are you in my mind so much? You're like clinging onto me. Yeah, I want peace, I want inner peace.
The conflict of our societal narrative feels really strong. And being able to soften the noise that spins us into our fear of not enough. So letting that go and really finding that inner peace and allowing that to drive us and fill us up instead of seeking externally.
Thank you.
And we're just going to take one last collective look. Also witnessing the trauma being buried. Just saying that story is over now. The trauma is complete. And it's over now. And you're here now. And what we're going to do is we're going to get everybody out of the roles. We're going to take a 10-minute break. So we'll be here at 20 after the hour. Please go get food, everybody. I'll release everybody who's in the role, everybody who's watching. You'll just shake it out and come back afterwards. And Ravaya as well. Go make sure you eat, drink.
Okay, I could leave.
Yeah, you can leave. I'll get them out of the role.
All right, thank you.
Inner child, you can leave the role and go back to being Rachel. Thank you. Father, you can leave the role and go back to being Kate. Thank you for taking on the role. Father's line, you can leave the role and go back to being Teresa. Thank you. Trauma, you can leave the role and go back to being Molly. Thank you. Money, you can leave the role and go back to being Rachel. Thank you. Society, your name's Alyssa. Society, you can leave the role and go back to being Alyssa. Thank you. Scarcity, what was your name? What was it?
Beth.
Beth. Okay, Scarcity, thank you for playing the role of Scarcity. You can leave the role and go back to being The role of the client, what was your name?
Kiara.
Kiara, you can leave the role and go back to being Kiara. And the pattern.
Hannah.
Hannah, you can leave the role and go back to being the pattern. Thank you, everybody. Go shake it off.
Yeah.
Ricky,
Mm-hmm.
what time are we coming back?
In another 11 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
This one is a medicine, a medicine, a medicine. This one is a medicine for you and me. I wrote it from the depth of my being, hey, in my soul. I wrote this from my heart and my soul. For deeper healing. This one is a medicine, a medicine, a medicine. I wrote this from my heart and my soul. For deeper healing. Wrote it from my heart and my soul. For deeper healing. I wrote this from my heart and my soul for deeper healing. This one is a medicine, a medicine, a medicine. You know that we need it. You know that we need it. You know that we need it. We all need some healing. This one is a medicine, a medicine, a medicine. This one is a medicine, a medicine, a medicine.
Tearing me apart from the inside out so I can see myself from the inside. Tearing me apart from the inside out so I can see myself from the inside. Tearing you apart from the inside out so you can see yourself from the inside.
Want to go upstairs?
Tearing up. Que quer as coisas lindas. I gotta leave, I gotta leave. I gotta leave, I gotta leave. I'm swimming up to the light. I gotta leave, I gotta leave. I gotta leave, I gotta leave. I'm swimming up to the light. Pulling me down in your ocean. High tide, coming my way with your motion. Pulling me down in your ocean. High tide. I'm swimming up to the light. I can see you living in a new vein of mine, not mine now. Made a plan, drawn in the sand. Wash away what we don't understand. There's a thin line between ocean and sky. We fit together if by design.
Okay. We're going to come back. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody made it back in one piece. Yeah, it was a big session. Money is the energy that we project the most amount of trauma to, more than sex. Money has the strongest hold on us energetically. And it's where the most knots are. And epigenetically, basically the ability to see how our genes are affected by emotions and trauma. They go back as much as what we can see right now scientifically, as much as 800 years. I'm sure it's actually much longer than that. But you have money stories from 800 years ago. So just thinking of where your family was 800 years ago, that's embedded inside of you. You know, and we talk about our parents saying you can have this, but not that, but it goes so much farther than that and so much deeper than that. So Revaya, we're going to ask you how you're doing, and then afterwards you're going to space out. Okay.
Yeah, just related a lot to what everyone said. My dad, worry, yes. My dad is one of the youngest of 10, just wasn't looked after, really tried to look after all of us as kids. I don't know, everyone was so on point. Revaya, having resistance, being avoidant, like, yeah. Scarcity, yeah, I just felt like everyone was very on point. I really wanted peace to actually speak more, but I think peace went into farther line. It made me see my pattern and how I go back and forth in my pattern, in my work of, you know, manifesting and gratitude and yay, and then the other side of me that's like, this is hard, like, what am I doing? I did feel like when trauma was you know, put down, like I cried. I felt like a part of me left, like my cells just felt like something just shed away. And I didn't realize how much it was a trauma. And I didn't even think about that. Generational, right? The generational trauma that's stored within all of us. Yeah, and it made me realize that the work that I want to do towards, yeah, like mental, physical stuff that I'd like to do. Thank you so much. Cried, I ate, I drank. It's good.
Good, thank you. This was so relevant to everybody here. It was massive. Really appreciate you bringing it forward.
Thank you so much for everyone who were in the role. I hope you're okay, Molly. You seemed like, I know what that feels like, to be the role that's like, I'm dying. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And go ahead and space out. If anything doesn't resonate what anyone says, just discard it. It takes about 2 weeks to integrate before I want you to start journaling on it or talking to your therapist about it. And for people who are in the roles, also know it takes about 2 weeks to really move through your system. And now what's going to happen is we're opening it up to everybody here. Don't feel like if you weren't in a role, you're not allowed to speak. This is the arena for everyone. So if you feel called to share how it was for you, I don't think we'll have time for everybody to go. So you can go ahead popcorn style and yeah, unmute yourself.
So I would say that, so as the father, I'm actually one of 9. And so I have a lot of siblings. And so when you said that, it kind of, everything makes sense about how I was feeling, because my story to money for as long as I can remember, and probably before I can remember, has been being scared that there's never going to be enough or enough for me, or, you know, watching out for everyone else, but also worrying about me and will I be taken care of? So this really resonated for me, and thank you for letting me be father, because it brought up some things for me. So.
Christina?
Is it okay if I share a quick healing sentence from Helen
that I thought was really relevant for this, especially for the father energy. Hellinger, if you don't know, is kind of like the progenitor of family constellations. And this is for like a father or mother to say to their parent or to their child, I take you as my child in my heart and in my arms. I'll care for you as best I can, and I entrust you to a greater power. And I place myself within this power to which I entrust you. And that was it.
Can you put that in the chat?
You want it in the chat? Teresa? Okay.
I think I'd like to go. Were you going to speak, Molly? You can if you want to. Okay. This is one of the times where I felt like this thing that I'm feeling, that can't possibly be right, but I guess it is. And I think this is going to be one of the ones where playing the role isn't going to hit me for a little while, because I have done very little work on my father line. And had very, very little compassion for my father. I've tried, but it's been really hard. So like that whole concept of, oh, they were trying to keep me safe. Like, of course, but somehow I never connected to it emotionally. And so I think that's going to be resonating for a while for me. And that's one of the powerful pieces of this work. Yay, thank you.
Yeah, the roles choose you. Go ahead.
Right. I also wanted to say that I specifically put peace back in the father line name, like when I stopped being peace or didn't stop, because to me it felt like that was a missing piece that didn't really get spoken, but that not only did it offer that controlling and the limiting, but there also was something there that was very, very wholly ungrounded. And I think I just wanted to say that to remind myself as well, that there was not just trauma, there was also deep, deep strength and holding. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Thank you for that reminder.
Just wanted to express that like the main essence I felt towards the end as money is that love. Love is the basis of abundance in all areas of our life. And instead of coming from the mental aspect where scarcity, fear, all the stories are, dropping into the space of love and those wishes of comfort and love for yourself and all that you care about, like that felt like just this expansive, soft, warm doorway through all of it. So I'm thankful to drop into that space more when considering anything.
I can go. Yeah, that was like a very interesting role for me to play, because I feel like I don't often feel like anger, and I felt like a lot of like heat in my body, like the heat was rising. But it almost felt like a defense mechanism for like being just like hurt. So that kind of like revealed itself as the constellation went on. And at the beginning, I wanted a lot of attention. Like I wanted to yell, I wanted to scream, and I really wanted attention. And as we brought like the father's line in and were able to give the father's line support, I felt like I just didn't have to speak as much. Like I was still feeling a lot of pain. And at the end, I didn't really feel like I was gone yet, but I just felt like, okay, like I don't need to be so loud. Like I don't need to speak. Which was cool. And I got some relief, like I was able to lie down, but I don't know, I'm still feeling like really tense in my shoulders. So if you have any recommendations for that.
Yeah, definitely. Like continue lying down, like put heavy blankets on you and like really feel that burial process. Feel the feeling of what it feels to get like the dirt over your body. As much as you can, like visualize getting buried. Yeah. Because just in general, with all of our trauma, it never goes away. And we're not trying to erase it from the past, but we're trying to honor it. And not honor it by having statues of it, but honor it by having its tombstone, its burial place.
Also, like
Yeah.
something that whatever came up yesterday is that like the earth is alive, and when we like are buried, it's like it's going back into life, so it's just transforming into something else. So it's
Yeah.
not really like dying, but it's transforming.
It's going into the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And trauma is stuck energy. It's energy that's not in the cycle. So when we bury something, we put it back in the cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I noticed some relief saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else?
I'd like to add on that from society, and I really kind of more toward the end felt it as like a collective, just like the general collective. And I found it really expansive, and me now, Alyssa, looking at it with so much compassion for all that it holds and how it moves and shapes. And it's literally holding all of these stories for every soul ever throughout history. And it's like all of those stories are programmed of like every single trauma that forms a collective narrative that shifts and shapes in every generation. And the deeper that we went with it, I felt that like my awareness of the expansion was just getting really, really big, but in a very compassionate way, which was really nice now for me, Alyssa, to look at without judgment and actually with gratitude for like the collective stories that society is holding throughout history and how those stories change, and just like the capacity, it feels almost like a feminine mother, like the earth mother energy, just like the capacity to hold it all. I never really thought of society in that way. So that's cool. So fun to share.
That's super cool. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Something peculiar that's coming up during it was I felt this impatience as money, this impatience, and I'm just going to give space for that to be understood and integrate.
Yeah. Yeah,
Impatient.
definitely. Yeah. Go ahead, Kiara.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, for money, I don't think for me that felt fully resolved at the end. I kind of felt really ill towards money as Ravaya. It was really interesting to see the pattern outside of me, like I like what it was experiencing, but also experiencing the same in a way, like identifying it, but also having it outside of me. And like really resonated with it. Like it felt really good to have the father and the inner child there and like be at peace. But I'm really curious to hear what the pattern has to say about her experience, because something feels unfinished, and with money as well.
Yeah, I really I resonate with what you just said, seeing you outside of me and seeing myself as the pattern as like a separate entity, because I know in my life often I identify with my own patterns, but that was just kind of underlying source. But in that whole dynamic, I felt when the father and the inner child entered the space that I literally had to get up and run away because I did not feel like I could confront it. And that as the pattern, like I needed to like physically move my body in the beginning, the middle, and the end of that whole thing. And then also once trauma had the voice kind of gelling it all together, then I could sit back down, and then I was like, okay, like I can handle this now, but only after I took like a walk around the room, which I just felt was like very interesting, of like allowing that to come up and feeling avoidant, but also the capacity as the society was like holding their arms open and seeing the support, then allowing that to help me kind of sit back down and center back in and be present and kind of move through the avoidance.
It just had some clarity pop up.
Wait, Rachel, hold on. I want to give everybody a chance and then.
Oh, it's just responding to her.
Go ahead, inner child. Rachel.
Oh, that's so
Rachel,
funny.
yeah.
My name is Rachel too. I just had to say that because it seems really relevant. So when you said, I was getting downloads about this and like the inner child before I was even put in the role of inner child, and I don't know specifically, Peace said something about there being something very holy, but then there also being something, you know, controlling. And we were talking about the wounded masculine. And I feel like there was this energy of inner child being shown like happiness or like a treat, like you were talking about like an ice cream cone, but being able to only get it in a certain flavor, or not being able to get this or that because of some reason, when really that reason was the energy of control and safety, which is, to me, feels like the opposite of love and abundance and money. So I think it's allowing yourself and your own inner child to be able to like enjoy and have fun and have peace with money, like with luxury. Also, one thing I found interesting is at the beginning when we were like supporting, or like I was supposed to receive support, I was trying to support money. So it seems like there needs to be trust with allowing to receive as well, and like let money flow, not being afraid to spend it on like things that make you happy in the energy of love and like luxury, not just like a vanilla ice cream cone if that's not what you want, you know.
Like investing in pleasure is also actually an investment in money, because it raises your vibration.
It definitely is. Wondering, does that help resolve for the person who is playing the client?
Around money, I'm still interested to hear what money has to say. Yeah, I still feel avoidant. I feel like when you were in front, the inner child, and I had my father behind me, it felt really interesting to both be supported and give support. It was really beautiful. It was like abundance, right? Like I felt solid enough to give to my inner child, if that's what you mean. So like I felt that for you and from the father, but money still kind of feels a little there.
So, oh, should I?
Yeah,
not
I want to give everybody a chance to speak, and then, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a question about what does it mean, like the specifics like body reactions that we have. Like I'm assuming that each reaction, it's all dependent on what does it mean for me. But I wonder if as a constellation practitioner, there is like general guidance on what happens when we're feeling like that thing in our throat, or when we're feeling really chill or cold, or I started to feel really hungry. It's like 10:30 here. So
yeah,
things like that, like that would have been, that would be like a nice guidance.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's totally what does it mean to the client, or what does it mean to the person? The energy is moving through you. There's the general, you know, heaviness in the shoulders is usually around burdens and expectations or ancestry healing.
Okay.
Chills usually has to do with either something resonating, something coming up, or something that's dying. And hunger is also just we're releasing so much energy. You're actually burning a ton of calories doing family constellation.
Okay.
It's moving a lot out. So you feel starving afterwards. And it's also important to ground because so much is moving energetically.
When you're yawning too, like, and you get sleepy, that's also
releasing energy. Yeah. If you get sleepy, it just means it's too much to look at it consciously, but the work is happening subconsciously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Who else would like to speak?
I was getting a lot of like signals towards trust. I actually sent a message by accident to Rachel that I meant to send to the whole group to ask if like maybe trust was somewhere out there. Somebody was feeling like, I didn't feel like I was in the role of trust, but I was looking around and I was thinking there's a link here that seems to be missing. in order to, and it was when scarcity was speaking that I felt like there's something that's not here. And then again, when money was talking about like how joyous it can be to just like have money, and I was picking up on the cynicism from Revaya, the role about like, and from the pattern, like, what do you know about anything? Like, can you just stop talking? And there was something that was missing that was like, you can just trust money that it can be a tool for this also, and that there's some beautiful bridge there that's opening up this different feeling. And that resonated a lot with me, to just like also trust that good things can be good and things can lead to good, and that it can create a different kind of cycle.
Totally.
Yeah, I'd like to. Hi, Ricky. Thank you. Thank you. This was so awesome for me to watch and just observe. It definitely brought up a lot of feelings and insights and clarity around how we all experience just these different emotions. I felt a lot of them like very viscerally, even though I wasn't in those roles. I felt like a lot of them were coming up for me. I definitely felt a lot of frustration and sadness that that whole father line was coming up. I feel like toward the end, I wish that there was more around like that healing and the connection, like maybe community connection, or like not feeling alone in that way. Not just trust in, I don't know what that trust, like, is it trust in yourself, trust in the community, trust in society, trust. So anyway, that was just something that was coming up for me. And that idea around money not having all the answers, but money being about like that love and also that abundance, as far as feeling not just safe, but also like at peace, and that inner peace. So it was just interesting for me to watch and then feel. And I wish that, like, I was just feeling toward the end, I was just like, oh, I wish some of those feelings, there would have been more peace or clarity, but I don't know. That was just my experience. So yeah, as an observer. Thank you though.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for naming that. What I love about constellation work is it has so many layers to it.
Mm-hmm.
And like this session could have gone on for hours. Like we went in so many different directions. And then what was possible for the hour that we had together was just separating money from trauma and burying the trauma. That for me was the big takeaway of because again, money is the thing that we project upon the most. And it's so important to clear it out of whatever it is that we splatter onto money, so that we can actually have a relationship to wealth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I have a question for, I guess, Ricky. Under, like, I've never experienced or been directed to bury trauma, and I'm just like wondering what's the difference between burying trauma and like spiritual bypassing?
Yeah,
like,
such
is
a
it
good
being
question.
avoidant to bury the trauma, to just like say we can't really do much else for you at this point?
I love that question. Spiritual bypassing, like literally think of it in terms of the elements. Burying is to bring it into earth, to let it go through a composting process. That takes years. Spiritual bypassing is pretending it doesn't have a body and just putting it in the air. It's like it's literally, think about it in the human form. We just let a corpse lay out and say it's gone now, and you could just walk over it and it doesn't bother you and it doesn't smell and it's not decaying in your living room, as opposed to honoring it, having a funeral for it, having, a whole year of mourning it, having a whole practice around it, but also burying it. And it has ritual around it. Yeah.
Right, but when is the right time to bury a trauma versus trying to dig it up and resolve it,
Yeah. That's a really good question. What's coming through for me is asking yourself, am I keeping it above ground and it wants to be buried when the same thing is happening over and over again? And it will answer like, no, there's more here. Or it's like, I need to be put down. I've never been honored. And then you have to ask yourself, what does honoring trauma look like? And how does that look different than identifying with it? Yeah. Thank you. It's a great question. Yeah. Beth and then Shinoy.
Sorry, my connection is just really rough today. I hope you can hear. I just want to say, first of all, this work has been really fascinating for me. The message that really came up really incredibly strong for me is seeing money as a tool and not a solution. The idea of scarcity driving so much of the fear, when in reality we're really seeking for that internal joy and love. So just taking away all of the aspects of the interactions between everybody and seeing where it all kind of ultimately came back to, and it was the inclusive seeking of that peace and that safety, not the false security that money may provide, but really the safety from every aspect of our lives that is already there for us.
Yeah. Thank you. Shinoy?
Hey, how are you? Good to see you. So I wanted to just say thank you. This was such an incredible session with so much insight and absolutely resonated in so many different ways. I noticed you put up links to some of your courses and you posted like a really great price, and I'd love to learn more about it. Is this the place for you to share a little bit about it?
Yeah, I'll share in like the next 5 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that segue. We have time for 1 or 2 more shares, and then I'll go into the courses. Yeah, go ahead, Christina.
I just thought it was really interesting that the father line, the father line came up, and I don't think there's any males here. I think we're all women, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Rachel, did you want to say, I don't think anyone else is having something? Rachel, who played money. Did you want to share? Yeah.
Speaking to that frustration that was coming up that I didn't speak to during the thing, and then hearing someone speak. I remember also feeling at the start of this call, my computer died. I was going upstairs to charge it. And this fear of how I looked and pride in how I look. And then this frustration, and what was underneath it was this inner child saying, what about me? And money as a way of looking, any way of successful, of accomplishment by parents, or doing, being, keeping up with the Joneses, like that energy. And then like underneath it all, the little inner child who just wants to be nurtured and loved and seen. So the frustration showed me the importance of the impatience. That's what it was, impatience. Like, oh, all you just going back and forth, just have me. And all these layers that come of doing versus really tending to what's under it. And that little one, like I've seen that pattern in my life. And like this resentment towards my parents of like doing and going to get the money, but like feeling neglected. And wanting that connection. So yeah, how many layers there are with underneath it all.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, let's take one breath together, just transitioning, just giving yourself so much gratitude of doing this work. Like, this is the work, moving through these layers, these projections. I'm putting here in the chat again. There's a lot coming up. There are 2 more family constellations open to the public, which is going to be on love and sex. Love, sex, and money are the things that we project upon the most, money being the thing we really project upon the most, and then love and sex after that. Those 3 things create your libido, which is your life force. So in order to really cultivate that, I'm offering a 2-day mastermind called the Up Level. It's $97. It's going to just be 2 separate days, an hour and a half each, June 6th and June 7th. Going really deep into your personal work around all of these topics. So we'll be breaking out into partners. We'll be really digging deep there. It's wanting to make it as affordable as possible for really people to just level up their libido. And the second thing is Wisdom to Wealth, which was kind of a birthed from this session right here, which is what would happen if I recorded about 20 sessions, one-on-one sessions of people's relationship to money. So I have 20 one-on-one sessions recorded, just taking on the role of money, talking to different people. And we're talking about some people who are in $40,000 of debt and other people who have about 300 million in net worth, and everyone has money stuff. So across the gamut, gender, sexuality, race, culture, religion, all of those things play a part in our money story, and really fleshing that out, releasing it, and turning it into what it really is, which is money is just a pathway to wealth, and clearing all of that out. So it's a course that really the role of money teaches us, of just 20 sessions of taking on the role of money. What does money tell us to do each time? And then implementing that into just a really clear integration system of how to do that step by step. So everything that got channeled through from the role of money, and you watch it happening. So it's the energetics and the logistics of it. It's $87 right now. Once it comes out to the public, it'll be about $900. But I wanted to just give it to everybody here as a gift while it's still being refined and formed on the website. We are going to send out the replays as well. So you're welcome to watch this video again. It'll be on YouTube, so you'll have it as well. And yeah, I just would love to hear some takeaways or what you guys are walking away with, and you can put that in the chat. One thought, one feeling, one step maybe you want to take. And this was so powerful because all of you were here. We were working with everybody's money story. It was massive, massive, massive. And lastly, just make sure you ground. Yeah. Trust that you can be loved without being controlled, feeling comforted and held. Money is not a solution for scarcity. Trauma is stuck energy. Trust the abundance and growth coming in. Love is the foundation to feel and find. Look at my money, bank account pattern. My story on money goes deep. It isn't just my parents. Yeah. Yeah, I want to release my family line trauma to free myself, go to a true place of forgiveness, compassion, connection, and love. Honor trauma by giving it burial, give it back to source. Seek to look at my own patterns, seeing the whole picture and all the parts as individuals help me add to compassion to myself. My view on money is how I view the world, society. Yeah, that comes up a lot. The pattern is not me. Let others guide you. A gentle reminder to spend more time sitting in the embodied feeling of abundance instead of worry, fear, and scarcity. Yeah, massive, massive, massive. Give yourself a thanks, everybody. This was awesome. Round of applause to all of you for being here. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys will come to the love and sex ones. Our next one's happening May 18th. Send it to friends if it feels like this work could be helpful to anyone that you know. And have a wonderful day, everybody. And thank you again, Ravaya. Yeah.
Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, everyone. Good night.